We are back for another daily draft wizard because I'm addicted and I just can't stop. But Jay from Twitter, what's going on, Jay? Happy to help you. You've been a great fan, asking tons of questions all summer. He just said he got the first pick, found out last night. Congratulations, great place to be. First pick of his draft, a PPR league with a flex. So let's rip off a daily draft wizard for our good friend Trinidad J and see how we do. So as it's loading, he asked, is David Johnson the no-brainer number one? And I said, yep. Just a safer bet to play all 16 weeks. Le'Veon Bell maybe a little bit better when he's on the field in terms of fantasy output. But overall, David Johnson I just think is a sturdier bet to make it through 16 health-wise, off the field, no concerns, and he's not holding out right now. Unlike his other counterpart, Le'Veon Bell. Both just enormous sky-high upside, but to me it's David Johnson anyways. Never mind the risk factors. I just love David Johnson. True threat for 1,000 this year. I think it's a no-brainer. And then we're going to look at the top of the draft here. I do like Crowell a lot for running backs as compared to the rest. But Hopkins and Cooks also makes a lot of sense right here, because you already have you're getting 25 points from your RB1 right here. Your wide receivers, if you don't get two, could be very, very questionable. I was hoping this guy, Mr. Gronkowski, would fall, but he didn't. I know I'm going Hopkins no matter what, and now it's just a matter of, is it Crowell or is it Cooks? I'll go Cooks. I think let's try this out. It's PPR. Full point, so that does make a pretty big difference. And now you've already got a stable of three just great pass catchers to go in a PPR league. That's fantastic. Some sure points here. Now, there, of course, is a name I always need to check. And he's here. Plus some good running backs. Cook is unfortunately gone PPR. But this one's a no-brainer to me. It's Tyreek Hill. And it's Joe Mixon. Look at this core five you've built right now. Just potential number one options at every single position so far. All very adept pass catchers for your PPR format. I love everything about it so far. Now, full point PPR flex, we really want to consider a receiver for that flex. If you've been reading anything I've written, you know Eric Decker is one of my absolute guys this year in PPR. I think he's the absolute play. So we got our flex shored up. It also gives us a little bit of depth behind Tyreek Hill in case he does bust. Obviously, I don't think he will, but case, got to have that backup. I'm not considering a quarterback. I don't know why Russell Wilson's name's popping up here. I think that's gross. But I am considering some of these high upside running backs like Mike Gillislee, potential touchdown machine, Adrian Peterson, Doug Martin. I mean, unbelievable options here. And because we already have our starters, we already have our starting flex too, I can take that Doug Martin hit and be okay. Yeah, let's do it. J-Mac would have been interesting there, Jeremy Maclin. We're in a tough spot here with tight end. I mean, Jack Doyle, I think, is head and shoulders above the rest of this pack. This pick is kind of right where I have him ranked. But a guy like Tevin Coleman is just way too valuable this late. Still plenty of quarterback talent out there. I don't feel any pressure. I'm really not going Jack Doyle above like Adrian Peterson. I mean, come on. Mike Gillislee's still there. This is where I can take some risks, right? So now this is why I'm definitely glad I didn't go Crowell, because I have this much depth at RB. It's Adrian Peterson still falling. That would have been just too much. And the guy I was considering, Jack Doyle, still there. Perfect. Marcus Mariota, my QB7 this year. think at this stage. Let's just make sure there's no talents that I love. Gonna queue up some guys for later. Robbie Anderson, Rawls, Joe Williams, PPR, Shane Vereen, and Alvin Kamara. Great PPR late round options. But at this point, I think it makes sense to lock in a guy I have my QB 6 or 7. And this starting lineup is looking monstrous. A great deep bench at this point. So it's one of those things. Big Ben and Robbie. Probably I keep forgetting to have the back-to-back. I mean, yeah, it's just head and shoulders above the rest of talent. You could trade him later once he's feasting with his guy back. Now it comes down to Robbie or Joe Williams. I think Williams will make it back to me, so let's go Robbie. Come on, Joe Williams, make it back. You know you want to see me again. Ah, there he goes. Damn it. I'm not too worried about Cuff and David Johnson. I don't know if Ellington would be even that valuable in that role. Ugh, that is just gross. Donta Foreman, though. That's going to be the play. Except Aguilar and Kenny Golladay. Two names very intriguing, particularly Golladay. I'm going him. Just the red zone monster right now. Now I get my pick of the defenses. I go Pats over Cardinals. I think their corners are unbelievable right now. And then we'll get whatever the last kicker off the board is. This squad, if this squad doesn't get an A, I don't know what will earn you one. Hoshka's with Buffalo now. Oh, Dustin Hopkins is gone. How devastating. I don't like this. I'll go Boswell. Good offense. Alright, yeah, there you go. 94. Got 2 potential RB1s, 3 potential wide receiver 1s. None guaranteed in this 4, however. I mean, obviously David Johnson's guaranteed, so those next 4. No guarantees, but enough depth behind them. Like, one of these running backs will pan out. I know Doug Martin come week 3 is going to be a monster. Coleman high floor in case Mixon busts. Gillislee could score 15 touchdowns this year. Like Eric Decker to balance out the Tyreek Hill risk. Any of these running backs, again, could be options in the flex if any of these receivers bust. Potential target monster, potential red zone monster, 2 good QBs. That's the squad. So Trinidad J. I would think something like this, those first 7 or 8 picks just loading up on running backs and receivers. Usually my MO. I'd like to see where I could have considered a tight end instead. There was just too much good talent falling that I didn't even think about, like Hunter Henry. I guess we can look at the draft board and see where some of those names went. I mean, I got Jack Doyle a full 2 rounds later. Ertz these days, especially in PPR, is taking a nice step up. But round 8, that's where I took Coleman. And they went, my boy, of course, went right before it. And I would have gone either of these guys over him anyways, so I like it. I'm staying strong with this squad. So, 9 straight picks. Running backs and receivers just loaded up. Didn't even look a QB's way till 11. And look at who I have. Mariota and Big Ben. Just absolute studs. Rivers went round 13. So clearly waiting on quarterback remains the best option. Tight end wise, Gronk was gone. Maybe go Jordan Reed here instead of Mixon, but I love Mixon, so no. So I don't know if there's much else I could have done tight end wise because there's just too much talent falling. And I don't mind Jack Doyle at all this late. You can get, Julius, Evan. Yeah. Good squad. I wouldn't have changed anything. I think it's a great team. And this is our Daily Draft Wizard for Trinidad J. If you want one, make sure you find me on Twitter at Roto Street Wolf. Hashtag Daily Draft Wizard with your scoring. So PPR, half PPR standard. Your position and the number of teams. 10 out of 12, 1 out of 12. Hopefully it's 12 or 14 and not a 10 because that's just JV. And then you can comment if there's anything extra, flexes or 2 QBs, anything like that. And I would be happy to do a draft and just kind of explain my thinking as I go, just like I did here for Trinidad J. I think this would be an absolute money squad, and you'd be in full playoff contention, if not running for that championship, come the end of the year if you can do something like this. So, Trinidad J, hope you took some notes and enjoyed this, and hopefully it was helpful. Again, anybody else that's looking for some help, let me know where you're drafting. Hashtag Daily Draft Wizard at Roto Street Wolf, and I'd be happy to take a look with you. Till next time, see you guys.